Hi, this is Jacqueline Tobin from Rainfinder Magazine. I'm here today with Lindsay Adler, and I just wanted to ask you, Lindsay, everyone knows who you are, and you have a book coming out on posing. Just tell me a little bit about the book, who's the publisher, and when is it coming out?
Sure. So my book is Posing Techniques to Flatter Everyone. So it's going to be exactly the book that I wish existed when I first started portrait photography. Because I would always see these books that were like super skinny young women and then teach with that. But guess what? That's not the whole of our subject matter. So yeah, it's a photographer's guide to posing, techniques to flatter everyone. And I've got curvy subjects, men, women, families, all of that. And it comes out in March, and it's published by Rocky Nook.
That's awesome. So I know there are a few other books similar to that on the market right now. Like what really like sets yours apart?
Totally. I can tell you exactly what sets it apart. So what I did, the way that I shot it, is it's fine to show what a good pose is. But I want to see what the bad version is, because then you can identify the problems when it's in front of you. A lot of times someone's just like, this is a good pose. And then you're like, well, what's the alternative? So I've got hundreds of before and after. This is the good, this is the better, this is the best, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
So very visual.
So what are like three things that have changed the way you think about posing today?
Sure.
Because everything over time evolves, Have you changed your style of posing or learned new techniques?
Totally. Well, so one of the reasons that I like to teach so much is because when I teach, I become a better photographer, because I get all the questions about, well, how do you do this? And then you step back and you think about what you did. So how I pose today compared to, let's say, 7 years ago, it's night and day, because now I really can dissect what it is. So I found that there are three things, there are more than three things, but let's go to three things that change the way that I think of posing. One of those things I'll say would be perspective. I used to think that if the person to my eye, their body looks good, then it's a good pose. But it's more than that, because if you have the wrong camera angle, the wrong lens choice, the wrong placement of your camera, it can look terrible. So realizing that posing isn't standalone. Posing relies on other things as well, which is perspective and camera angle and all of that. Right. So that'd be the first thing. I just didn't realize until I started shooting more and teaching and all of that. The next thing that I would say would be one of the things that changed the way I think about posing would be foreshortening. So whenever anything comes directly to or away from the camera, it looks cut off. Well, the obvious example is like this, right? It looks like chicken wing we have going on here. So it's, bringing the arm down or bringing the arm up or something, so it's not to or away from camera. But thinking of that in a bigger picture is like if people are sitting, you have a woman in a dress and she's sitting and her thighs and her legs are coming directly towards you, it never looks as curvy and beautiful. So you'll never see, for example, a WPPI, award-winning print that has foreshortening in it.
Exactly.
It's going to have beautiful curves and long lines. And the last one is a little bit more simple. But the concept of mergers, basically how you have them pose, is it making their body look wider? And you can fix it by bringing the arms out, for example, or bringing them in. But it's just like picturing the subject in silhouette. And if the way you've posed them makes them look wider, you should probably change it. So those are my three tips.
Those are awesome. I just want to ask you one or two more things.
Yeah, of course.
Because to me, it seems like posing is like the new lighting. Like everybody's talking about posing now. It's everywhere. Do you think it's because there are more and more people booking more portrait shoots and family shoots, or women like boudoir is more popular now?
Great question.
Posing is just more popular than ever.
Sure. Okay, so one of the reasons I think posing is so popular, and first of all, I'm obsessed with lighting, so I teach lighting all the time because I love it and I'm obsessed with it. But right now, there is a lot of style that is the very natural, flat lit style. And not that that's, it relatively is easy. You achieve the flat light look, but then what you have to emote or to achieve interest in the shot isn't the lighting.
Right.
It's got to be the posing or the concept. So you really have to nail those, because it's not the lighting that's bringing the image to life. So I think it's part of that. And then I also think it is boudoir. If you don't understand how to pose, you're stuck. You're out of luck. So it's kind of the pillar of that, and it's become very, very popular. So I think people also are starting to understand how the body really works to the camera's view more than ever.
And one last thing. So, a lot of these books will teach the actual technical nitty gritty of actual okay, move your arm this way or your foot that way. But what about the etiquette of posing, where if you tell a woman who doesn't have a perfect body that you wanted to move a certain way, but you don't want to offend her. Isn't that a big part too? Do you have anything in your book about that, about the etiquette of posing?
Sure.
Or teaching posing?
Sure. So one of the things that I have in the book is I have a section on directing, and I also have a section on giving your subjects confidence. And one of the things I think is most important is when you exude confidence, your subjects kind of eat it up. Like it passes on to them. And so when I'm directing people, it's not there's never a tip in there that tells someone to suck it in, for example, or like none of that. But instead, it's more going to be, it's posing, but it's directing. And directing is more of a finesse of it, so it doesn't feel like I'm posing a specific thing. It's I'm directing you into a better body shape. So, and I give tips for how to do that.
That's awesome. What I love about you, Lindsay, is like you're just so full of exuberance and joy when it comes to teaching, because you're an amazing photographer, but you're also an awesome educator.
Thank you.
And like, you're making me feel more bouncy and peppy right now. So I really look forward to seeing this book. Can you just tell us how to get a hold of it? Is it on pre-order right now?
Yep, it is on pre-order. It comes out middle of March, basically, is when I think it'll hit.
That's awesome.
And you can either get it on Amazon, Rocky Nook, or on my site. So
Excellent.
any of the above.
Congratulations. Thank
you so
you.
much.